straight back into the Alien action. I had a lot of fun filming that last video, folks, that featured the mostly the Medicom 112 Big Chap Alien, this one here, and also featured the Medicom 16 scale Big Chap Alien there. But without a doubt, one of the most detailed and fun to photograph Alien Big Chap figures I have is the quarter scale NECA figure. I think it's the second one they released, and then they did another one that was in the kind of retro kind of packaging. So this is the one before that one. So just really want to talk about it and film it, just get some cool photography. And while I was going to sleep last night, I came up with, because you know when I was saying in my rant about Alien Romulus how there wasn't really any particular alien scene that stood out to me, and I thought they really missed a trick with that one, because they were on that ship and they had face huggers there and aliens had taken over, but they could have had a cool scene, you know, come up with how they get there however you want. But I would have loved to have seen like a containment room, possibly where they would have been experimenting on the xenomorphs, like a big kind of, not glass, because obviously xenomorphs can get through glass, but something, whatever the hell it would be, like military grade, fucking 2 feet thick, you know, glass or whatever it is, plastic or whatever it is, that you can see through and observe the xenomorph while it's in captivity. Somehow managed to, however it is in the scene, they managed to get one of the xenomorphs in a room like that where you're able to observe it. And because one of the scenes I liked, even though it got a little bit weird, was in Alien Resurrection when Brad Dourif is looking through the glass at the xenomorph and they're kind of staring at each other. And if you're going to do a callback, do something kind of like that, but not as silly, and just have these young guys terrified looking through the glass at this thing that's just looking back at them, and then maybe it starts to kind of explore the room and look for a weakness, and maybe starts to spit acid at a particular part of the room and starts to kind of try to escape, and they start panicking and shitting themselves. But it would have been a good opportunity to really appreciate the design of the xenomorph from Alien Romulus. Just some kind of scene where they managed to somehow stick it in a room, and we can, you know, get a good look at it and really go for it. Have it be like a bright white, you know, like in the interrogation scene in The Dark Knight, where there's just, you know, there's no fancy lighting. It's just a big white room with a xenomorph in it. Because I remember in the Dark Horse comics there was definitely some moments like that, where Weyland-Yutani were experimenting on the xenomorphs and observing them in their captivity, and I just think that would have been a good opportunity to really create a cool, memorable alien scene that we've never seen on film before. Well, we kind of did, like I said, in Alien Resurrection, but those were quite small little captivity rooms that the aliens were in. I'm thinking more of a bigger, quite a wide room, just surrounded by glass or whatever the hell it would be, to be able to observe them and just watch a xenomorph just kind of freaking out at first when it first realizes it's trapped, but then calming down and just observing the people that are looking at it, and just watch it just slowly start to look around the room and start to crawl around and explore, and maybe look for a weakness, a way out. I think that would have been really interesting. That's one of the ideas I had while I was lying in bed last night. I think the room I'm actually thinking of in my head is from the AVP game on PS2, because there was, when you played, because you could play as the alien, you could play as the predator, you could play as a marine, so it's like 3 games in one. That was a great game. I wish I could play that again. But that's the kind of room I'm thinking of. If you remember, when you are a xenomorph in the game, you start out in captivity and you're in a big room where you can be observed. That's the kind of room I'm thinking of. And by the way, this looks really cool, just the silhouette of the xenomorph, the big chap, with the skull kind of catching the light there. It really is an amazing figure. Pretty essential if you're an Alien fan. But yeah, if you haven't played AVP on the PS2 and you're wondering about the kind of setting I'm thinking about for that scene with an alien, just YouTube, gameplay of the AVP game playing as an alien, and at the beginning you'll see the alien in captivity in that room, just looking for a way out and a way to get at the scientists that are experimenting on it. Yeah, man, that would have been cool. Would have been a nice nod to that game too. Doesn't that look sick? That's some cinematic action right there. Getting the lens flare. J.J. Abrams would cream himself. I just stumbled upon this image on Instagram. I mean, obviously I know what happens when a facehugger gets on your face, but actually seeing it like this is kind of shocking, isn't it? It's so messed up. That's going deep. Oh, look at that. It's your worst nightmare. Spider mixed with just all kinds of nightmarish stuff. I mean, that right there. Make a great t-shirt. I don't think I'd wear it in public because it's totally messed up, but that's quite an image right there. It's on that page on Instagram, Retro Sci-Fi Art. Very cool page. They've always got good stuff on there. But yeah, before I start turning on the lights and getting all fancy, I mean, that's a presence right there. I mean, that's a NECA, affordable for the size, you know, what you're getting. I think, what was this when this came out? About 130 maybe? You know, it's not cheap, but it's compared to the really expensive statues of the Big Chap and some of the high-end figures, even some of the 112 scale stuff is more than this. I mean, this is incredible. It's so big, it's like 19, 20 inches tall or something like that. It's just incredible. And it looks very, very accurate. Unfortunately, one of the common things that happens with the quarter scale Big Chap Alien by NECA, I guess no matter which version you go for, is that kind of bow-legged knee thing that happens, like the warped knee. His right knee is kind of bent inward a little bit. You can disguise it with a pose, but if you're looking for the absolutely dead upright museum kind of look, you might struggle with that. I mean, I was able to do it in the beginning, but over time I noticed his, not too long either, it was quite soon after I got him, I noticed his knee was a little bit warped. Just kind of, yeah, is what it is. I could always try and heat it up and then put it in position and put it straight in cold water or something. Haven't ever tried that. Nice chrome teeth. I mean, you could repaint them and make them even more chrome. It's even got that little dent in the tooth, which is actually accurate to one of the scenes I saw. I thought that was a problem with my figure at first, but that little dent on his tooth there, one of the sort of canine-like teeth at the front, before they get really sharp at the back, has a kind of dent in it, but apparently it's accurate. So, awesome. Some of the domes are clear. I've got a foggy one, which I prefer, because you can still see the skull inside, but it's kind of hinted at rather than being very obvious. And obviously in the movie it was getting quite misty in there and fogged out, whatever. Fully posable. It took me a while to convince him to stand up, and he may tip forward at any moment. And I can't get back far enough to really let you guys appreciate this, but just something about this kind of weird pose with him. Almost like a Jesus Christ on the cross kind of thing. But it makes you look at it and think, why the hell isn't this on the shelf over there? Because it isn't at the moment, it's just on the carpet, standing up against the wall. And it shouldn't be, it should be on display at all times. Because it is truly, truly awesome. If you own it, you know what I'm talking about. The wingspan on this guy. Try and lean back right up against the window now. Camera is on my chin. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Whatever it is. Okay, my mistake. This is the angle I should have been filming it from. You got to get low. Now it's kind of reminding me of when it took out Brett, the first victim of the xenomorph ever on film. Poor old Brett. It looks like it's about to kind of spin down, roll over itself and kind of unravel. The uncut version of that scene with Brett, it goes on a lot longer. You can YouTube it. He just kind of stands there for a while mumbling while this thing just stares at him and raises its arms out to kind of like slowly grab him, and he's just like freaking out and panicking, not making any sense. And you can imagine, I mean, what would he be thinking when he turned around and saw this slowly stand up in front of him? I mean, I can't even imagine it. What the hell? Just terrifying. But because of the size, the amount of detail in the sculpt and the paintwork as well, the accuracy all over is insane. It's so big. It should be on the shelf. I've got to make space. I've got to make space for the big chap. The big chap. Well, it's balancing well enough. Just got to be nice to it and be gentle and give it a bit of finessing here and there. But just kind of got him. Keep calling it a him. I don't know why I do that. I said it. It looks awesome, no matter what I do with it. It's just a beautiful thing. H.R. Giger's creation. It's just never been the same since. I do like the Alien Warriors and the Alien Queen from the second movie, and I love the dog alien from Alien 3. I'm not a massive fan of the Alien Resurrection look, and the AVP, the first AVP, and definitely the second one, AVP Requiem. I didn't like those aliens at all. I quite like the look of the one from Alien Covenant. It's a bit simplified, obviously it's supposed to be, but yeah, I don't mind that one too much. It looked good in the movie. At least Alien Covenant had some pretty memorable scenes. As brief as they are, that moment where they go into the room with the thing and they're trying to lure it into a certain spot so they can smash it out into space. In that room, when it walks in and starts frantically trying to get at them, I do like that. I think that was pretty memorable. One, the bit on top of the ship when they're trying to fly away and it's on the ship with them. They're trying to get it off. That was pretty cool. This is a figure that's built to last. You know, I can see people being able to pass this down to their kids, and they can pass it down to their kids. I don't see, you know, unless you keep it in the sun, the paint might fade a bit, or if you're really rough with it, maybe you'll snap a joint, but this thing's tough. It's not like the 7-inch scale stuff NECA make. I mean, some of them are absolutely fine, but I've had a bit of a rocky road with the 7-inch Alien figures from NECA. My Alien Isolation, Alien leg snapped off, previous Big Chap leg snapped off or an arm snapped off, and the list goes on. But I still absolutely adore the company. You know, it's just, it is what it is. They make incredible stuff. I mean, this here in front of me is an amazing thing to be able to own. This is the way Hot Toys need to do their 1/6 scale aliens. Just ditch all that rubber crap, because it doesn't last. You know, I got the Hot Toys Big Chap over there on the shelf, and when I first got it, it was all kind of new and smooth feeling, and then over the years it just started to feel dried out and brittle. I'm in the UK, so it's not very hot in here. It's kind of just the perfect temperature. But seriously, this is the way to do it. Imagine Hot Toys level paint jobs and detailing the sculpt. You know, cleverly conceal the joints the way NECA have here. I mean, the elbow joint there, you have to kind of look for it. You know, I mean, yeah, the light's hitting it and it's making it kind of shine a little bit, but I mean, the knees are done really well. The feet have loads of points of articulation. They're done really well. Tail has a nice thick wire in it. There's all kinds of articulation. I mean, I'd prefer double bend elbows on this particular alien so I could really get him in some cool, creepy Nosferatu-like poses. I have a link between this particular alien, the Big Chap, and Nosferatu. I feel I probably heard it in a documentary years ago and just forgotten about it, but it's coming somewhere in my brain that Nosferatu may have been an influence on the way the alien moves around and just some of those scenes, possibly. I feel there's a link there. I better film this before he falls over, but yeah, he is being helped balance a lot by his tail. He's kind of doing a crouchy, curious investigation of something, possibly Jonesy, in the carry case. I haven't even opened the mouth yet. I do remember painting some of the translucent kind of tendons black. I remember it was a lot more translucent originally, and I just didn't think it looked right, so I did paint some of the mouth. I left some of the translucency at the back there. Yep, the bet this looks good from down low. Let's go ahead and see how that looks. Ooh, beautiful. It's the great thing about something like this, because with a statue it is what it is, but with a figure this detailed and looks this good, you can just have fun with it. It really is an amazing piece, folks. I've already reviewed it on the channel years ago and done other videos in the past, but sometimes I just like to revisit. Obviously, after seeing Alien Romulus and all that stuff going on, it's kind of got me in Alien mode again. What would be my order of favourite Aliens films? So, I always struggle between Alien and Aliens. I would always say Alien, the first one, the original. But then I always have a part of my brain tap me on the shoulder, sort of saying, yeah, but dude, think about it. Aliens, the Queen, all those, the Hive, just how awesome it all is. Stan Winston and all his team, they're equal, you know, they really are. The first two films I can never really choose between them, but I'll just put Alien at number 1, Aliens at number 2. And then I go Alien 3. I like Alien 3. It's grim, it is, but I think it's got one of the best soundtracks. It's such an incredible score, and I love the idea of the dog alien, or the ox alien, depending on which version you're watching. But yeah, I do like Alien 3. I was 12 when that came out, and I was just super excited to see it, and I had this really, really bad VHS pirate copy. It was so dark, and the film's dark anyway, so I couldn't see anything, but I must have watched it like 20 times. Yeah, and then number 4, I might, let's see, number 4, ooh, maybe, I'm struggling between saying Prometheus, Alien Covenant, or, yeah, don't know, there's a lot of stupid shit in Prometheus, but I do like it. It's got a great atmosphere, and I kind of enjoy it the more I watch it. It's just, yeah, it's a cool film in its own right. So I'll maybe say Prometheus number 4. Then, as much as it was a disappointment because of those scenes I mentioned earlier with the alien at the end, I'd say Covenant be number 5. Then, because of the wolf predator, I'd say AVP Requiem. I love the wolf. And then Alien Resurrection. There's a few cool moments in there. Maybe could have put Alien Resurrection higher, to be honest. Anyway, let's abandon that for now, but that's the general gist. I'll give you a little tip. I know a lot of you don't film handheld with a big heavy Canon camera like this. You stick it on a tripod, but I'm always doing it handheld because they come up with cool little angles for photography. So he's still in that pose where he's kind of just like that, and then I was about to change it, and then I went really low down and kind of resting the camera on the desk so that I can keep it steady. And then when I zoom in about here, that looks really cool. So I took some pictures, and I wouldn't have got that angle with that kind of lighting exactly the way it is, and just the way everything happens to be because of where I am and where it is. I've got a nice little couple of pictures there, which I wouldn't have got if I had pressed on. But there's that dent again in the teeth. That is accurate. But yeah, it was just an accident getting that angle. Just got really low and found it. Okay, we've got the mouth open. I haven't got the inner mouth fully out yet. I like to keep it kind of behind the teeth. Gives it that really multi-layered teeth and mouth. You just think, what the hell? I still kind of remember that feeling when I first saw this. That mouth with the inner mouth just about to come out when it was like this in the first movie, and thinking, I don't know, just incredible design. I'm just mooching about low again. It's the same pose you just saw, but I'm just looking for cool angles for photography, and I found another nice one here. These kind of shots like this, I like the light in the background, and you can kind of move a bit and decide how much of it you want there. Get the nice little lens flare effect as well. But this is the fun part about going handheld. It may get a bit shaky, but you just capture things differently. wanted to try and come up with one more cool alien scene idea that they could have put in Alien Romulus, so I'm genuinely haven't thought of it already. I'm going to put the camera down, I'm going to give myself about 5 minutes, I'm going to see if I can come up with one more scene, even though I stole the other scene obviously from the AVP game, whether I knew it or not at the time, but I still think that would have been a really cool chance to look at the alien and show it in all its glory. It seemed like a pretty cool design for Alien Romulus. I just didn't get a good look at it in the movie, you know. I mean, even the first movie, like I said in the last video, that scene at the end where Ripley and the alien trapped together in that small space, when the alien was kind of embedded in the wall doing whatever it was doing, either getting ready to die or getting ready to hibernate or something, until maybe he was smart enough to know she was heading to Earth. It's like, you know, I'm going to just catch me a few Zeds, you wake me up when we get there, and I'll have myself some fun. Yeah. You know what, I don't actually need 5 minutes, because I literally just remembered something I've always wanted to see in an alien movie. Ever since Aliens, when you saw when the Marines first find the hive and they're starting to find people, you know, slimed up to the walls with the chest burster having already burst out and left, I always wanted to see, and because of the Dark Horse comics as well, I remember, I think it's right beside me, for Christ's sake. I mean, it's weird, like when I do live streams, the thing that we're talking about is always right beside me, and that's the actual graphic novel where you get to see what happened on Hadley's Hope with Newt when the aliens attacked everyone and started taking them away to the hive. You get to see it in that book there. But I've always wanted to see it in a movie. I've always been curious. Imagine the fear of something like this grabbing you while you're alive and conscious and dragging you back somewhere, and you're thinking, Jesus, why isn't it just killing me? Where is it taking me? And then just imagine being handled by this thing, like picked up and put on the wall while it's right in front of you, like literally here, and it's handling you and doing whatever it does to get that kind of sticky stuff that holds you to the wall. That would be terrifying. And imagine if they got the right actor to play the part of the person who's being dragged away and we get to see the whole thing. Like if they can find someone like Sigourney was able to convey fear in the first movie, or like I said in the last video, the lady from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, so believable, so like, it gives you a panic attack watching her, she's so believable. But if you got someone who could portray that level of fear and like even pass out during part of it and then wake back up and it's still happening and starts screaming all over again, just, oh man, if I was a film director, forget about it. You motherfuckers would be in trouble. But now that I think about it, I think I'm actually talking about a graphic novel called, it was a two-parter called Newt's Tale, and I have those somewhere else in the room, but that may be a different one there. Just wanted to correct that in case the aficionados were screaming at their phones right now, you idiot. But yeah, an even darker thing that you could, if you know, with that scene I was just talking about where you actually get to see the person being dragged away, the whole thing, like from their point of view, from different other angles, just the, oh man, being, if you, I mean, I guess if it's carrying you and you're not touching the surface of the ground or whatever that it's dragging you on, but either way it wouldn't be pleasant, and it would be fast and weird. It'd be going up the walls on the ceiling, you'd be disorientated and just scared shitless. And then another little horrible dark thought I just had was if the person, while it was being put up on the wall to get ready to have the facehugger jump on it, the person actually had a heart attack from the fear and passed away, and the alien stops what it's doing and notices that maybe they can sense your heartbeat or whatever it is, and it realizes that the person's dead and kind of screeches in frustration and just angrily kind of scuttles away. Something like that. I'm telling you, don't even get me started on my ideas for werewolf movies. I've got scenes in my head. It's a fucking shame. I've always had this one scene for a werewolf movie in particular. Terrifying. Just one day. I've probably talked about it before, but I guess it'll be for another video. I got ideas though. A cool picture here of H.R. Giger with the Beast. Got kind of silvery look to it in places here. You see that in the film as well. See the kind of patterning on the side of his thigh there. And it's that forearm. Maybe it's just the light bouncing off it. That's awesome. I remember when Alien and Aliens came out for the first time in widescreen on VHS in the UK, and there was that trailer, and it showed like when they were in the ship and they're about to find the space jockey. Like, so you think you've experienced every horrifying moment of Alien on video? And then it would turn to widescreen. Oh man, yeah, I remember going to the shop to get, to buy Aliens, which I have over here. The original one from back in those days. There's a mess in here at the moment, folks. Yeah, there's the Alien VHS. That's from back then. There's the widescreen one, and Aliens has that cover, which always frustrated me. I'll find it and I'll tell you why. It's actually over here. That envelope from Christopher Nelson, as you do. There it is. Yeah, and I always wondered what that was. It's like he's holding a knife. I don't know, is it his elbow or something? That always bugged me for all these years, but it's still in really good condition. That's the widescreen one, I think. Is it? No, the special edition. Yeah, it's the special edition with the extra stuff. Maybe this isn't the widescreen one, I forget. But I remember maybe it was on this that the trailer for the widescreen one that I kept watching. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, that's in really good condition. I've got to keep it that way. Street Hawk represent. Yeah. But yeah, quarter scales can be a bit of a troublesome thing because they take up a lot of space. They don't take up too much width on the shelf, it's the height, yeah, that's the problem. And you got your Batman Begins stuff. They're all quarter scale. There's Eric Draven by NECA. There's a size of Godzilla. Forget about it, that thing's just amazing. And then I've got the Endoskeleton quarter scale by Hot Toys. That's amazing. Quite a lot of that's actually made from metal, totally poseable. Big Michael Myers, he's quarter scale. Rob Zombie version, customized by yours truly. Predator, repainted him. Jungle Hunter, and an open mouth unmasked version. And I guess that's quarter. No, it's not quarter scale. It's bigger than quarter scale. It's Art the Clown. It's a custom statue anyway. Oh, and those two, they're quarter scale. Freddy Part 2 and Part 2 Predator. And there's probably some other bits around as well. Glenn Page sent me this amazing Batman there, Ben Affleck, that's quarter scale. And there's probably more in the loft. Well, that'll be it from me for now, folks. Thank you for all your questions coming in for the Q&A. And there have been some really good ones coming in, so I'll get to the answers video very soon. And thanks for taking part in it. Drop a like on this video, helps more people find the channel. Subscribe if you haven't done already, and follow me on Instagram at DKnight333. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.